If you're a manifesting generator and you keep telling yourself that you are bad at finishing things, what if that is not actually the problem? What if completion or finishing things or finishing tasks, the way that you've been taught it in our society, isn't actually aligned for your energy at all? And forcing yourself to finish that task is the very thing that's killing your momentum. And just to add another layer into this, what if that pressure is exactly why you don't even start half of the things that you actually really want to get out there into the world? So many of us are surrounded by people who live inside this really linear relationship with completion and with finishing tasks. You start the task, you finish the task, you tick it off your to do list, and then you move on. And most business advice is built on this. It assumes that starting and finishing the work is the same way for everybody. But manifesting generators don't move through work like that. And when you try and force yourself into it, things start to break and they fall apart, and your energy starts to dwindle, and you feel a little bit drained. You feel messy, maybe you feel unreliable, right? Because this is the conditioning of society. You feel unreliable, untrustworthy, like people don't trust you. And you know that you really deeply care about what you're building, what you're creating, what you're putting out there into the world. But there's just that little piece, and it might be completely unconscious, where you think that people aren't trusting you because you can't freaking sit down and get that task done. By the end of this video, you'll understand why completion for manifesting generators is energetic, not logical or strategic, and how to work with your energy instead of shaming yourself for it. I see this pattern so much within my manager clients in business. And once we kind of really unpack it and it really clicks for people, everything starts to just move wonderfully again. In this video, there are going to be 3 shifts that change how completion is going to work for you if you're a manifesting generator in the human design system. And I'm going to start with the one that nobody talks about. So here's the first thing to understand. The way that we have been taught about completion, about finishing tasks, doesn't just affect how you finish things, it affects actually what you're willing to start. So we're taught that finishing is a good thing. Finishing is you in integrity. And that finishing makes you trustworthy, makes you reliable. And when you don't finish a task, especially when you say that you're going to do it, whether you promise somebody else that you're going to do it, this means that there is something wrong with you. This means that you are flaky and untrustworthy. So if you already sense that something, you're not going to have the energy for something and it's not going to evolve, it's not going to keep going, or that your energy might even be finished before it's even, started, your body doesn't even want to start that task anyway. Right? You hold yourself back and you procrastinate and you say, well, yeah, I'm not sure if I really want to do that task, because your body knows the truth. Your body knows the future. And it just doesn't want to start that task because it knows that you're not going to finish it. And it creates a freeze before momentum has even had a chance to take place. This was exactly what was happening with a manager and client of mine called Jen. And she wasn't just procrastinating on launching her new product in business. She was avoiding starting certain tasks completely altogether because she already knew that they were going to drain her. She didn't want to do them. And every single time she thought about starting them, her energy just went, right? She started napping. And I'm like, hold on a sec. You're not a projector. What's going on here? I'm only kidding. Everybody's allowed to nap. Her belief really was, if I actually start this task, well, I have to finish it because, that's kind of what we're taught here in society. But if I don't finish it, then people aren't going to trust me. So she tried to force herself, she tried to give herself more discipline, that the whole eat that frog concept where you try and get your biggest task done in the morning before you go on with the rest of your day. And this created pressure. And the thing is with pressure and with forcing yourself to do something is that the energy isn't quite right. So if you're launching something in business and you're trying to force yourself to do your sales page, even if the words were absolutely perfect on that sales page, the energy that you bring in behind it is going to be off, and therefore people aren't going to come on and, just love what you're doing and come and buy from you. It's kind of what I talk about in sales aura. But when we unpacked this together, Jen realized that her procrastination, it wasn't self-sabotage because she, wanted to do this and she had the energy and she had the time and all this stuff. But actually, it was her body protecting her from committing to something that wasn't meant to hold her own life force. Her life force energy is designed for other things. It's designed for this stuff over here, not this boring stuff over here that she didn't want to do. So you as a manifesting generator, you don't procrastinate because you're undisciplined. You procrastinate because you're trying to preserve that energy and preserve the dip in energy, the fatigue, because you know that you've got something much more worthwhile to be putting that life force energy into. So here's your permission that is going to change everything for you. You are allowed to start things without promising yourself or anybody else that you will finish them the same way or even finishing something at all. Because completion actually doesn't need to come from you. Completion needs to happen, absolutely, but it doesn't have to be from you. So for my lovely, amazing client, Jen, that meant getting a VA. A VA who was going to finish the task that her energy had moved on from, that her energy just wasn't there for anymore. But also a VA created accountability without that pressure of, well, I have to get it done. And once Jen knew that she didn't have to carry everything through all the way to the end, her energy started to come back. And she started more tasks, actually. She started to do this and started to do that. And that was great, which means she got so much done. It's just that she released the energy of having to complete something because she knew that she either didn't have to, she knew that her energy would complete it for her, and she knew that she could give that to her VA as well. So it actually was a little bit of a paradox in the end. She got a VA to help her complete tasks because she was stopping, she wasn't starting many tasks, and then all of a sudden she started to do more, right? But that's fine because she's a manifesting generator. So completion for a manager is about energy. It's not about willpower. It's not about motivation. It's not about holding up to societal standards that you have to finish something. Now, if this video has completely landed for you, if it is just meant that you can just breathe out, it probably explains quite a lot for you as a manifesting generator. It probably explained why you have avoided doing certain things. It's probably explained why you get so annoyed with yourself for starting something and not finishing things. And also why forcing yourself to finish something just doesn't work at all. And it also probably explained why you've been judging yourself. And actually, this completion thing is not a flaw. So you don't need to judge yourself anymore. You have never really been stuck. You were just protecting your energy. And once you understand how your energy moves, the next question becomes, how can you create that focus and being able to start tasks without boxing yourself in to the energy of completing them? You don't need more discipline, but you do need permission to start. If you've enjoyed this video, then leave a comment for me below. Also, I have another video for you about how manifesting generators find it really hard to niche down in business. So if this is something you've been struggling with, then click this video right here and I'll see you over there.